Hello again. This is day two of my video podcast-ish thing that I'm attempting to do, talking about living with anxiety. So yesterday was a short little snippet, and maybe short, I don't know, 15 minutes is short to me, maybe not to you. And I got some, little feedback here, a little feedback there. And a lot of it was, things that people do, things that people try, things that, everything from journaling to breathing to talking to watching inspirational thing, all different types of stuff, and it was great. It was great. I'm not a big journaler. I do take down thoughts on my computer, or I'll make a podcast, or I'll make a video, or stuff like that. But I don't really, journal. What I do a lot of is no, really nothing. That's why I'm doing this podcast. Uh, I've always struggled with realizing that the voices in my head aren't real. So, I mean, all of us have these voices in our head, things that, oh, well, they're either really positive, hey, I'm going to do great today, I'm going to be amazing today, or you suck, you're a horrible person and you should die in a hole. Okay, we all have those voices, and every day it depends on um, our own mind, our own thinking, our own way of dealing with things. Um, and what I've realized for the longest time is I don't have the same voice that I tell other people to have. I'll tell my students, I'll tell people I know, hey, you got to be more positive. Hey, before you take this test, hey, before you do this action, you got to realize you can do this. I have faith in you. I have trust in you. I know you can do this. Um, I used to have students all the time, and who would be like, the day of the test, I'm going to fail. I'm horrible. I can't do this. No, you're not. You're good. I know you can do this. I had students who were terrified to talk in front of people. And I said, just do it. Um, it's okay. No one's judging you because they all hate it too. It's not like, oh, well, I'm the master. Now, I did have some students who were like really theatrical, very exuberant. But I had more students who were terrified, and they'd walk into class and they just absolutely hate their life, their day, their week, whatever led to that. But what always happened, and I can say always because, it always did for the students I've had, I've never had someone later on tell me different, is after they were done, they felt better. And the next time they had to do it, it was easier. Then I realized to myself, I do a lot of public speaking. Being a teacher, I also talked in front of groups before, and I've talked in front of lots of groups. Um, it's never gotten easier for me. I pretend, I put up this facade that, oh, it's great. But every day, every time I've ever talked in front of people, after I'm done, a lot of the times, unless it's teaching where I have notes, um, I totally forget what I just said. It just goes away. It doesn't stick. It. I say it. I'm done. It's gone. I usually don't do public speaking with notes unless I'm teaching. I've done many speeches. I've done it at the Super Bowl. I've done it in DC. I've done it in Chicago and San Diego. I've talked everywhere. Some people say I talk too much, but I've never had a script, something, notes, anything to go by. I just talk. And it isn't because, oh, I'm so confident when I'm speaking. It's because I have so little confidence in anything I write down that I'll be able to follow it and not sound like a complete moron. When I'm reading off a script, or if I'm reading or trying to focus on what I'm saying, uh, I start to stutter. I start to stumble. I start to lose trains of thought. But what I've realized is if I let my nerves just go and I just let it all out, it makes sense to people. It doesn't make sense to me because I don't remember half of what I said, but it makes sense to people, and so I've always done that. And a lot of people tell me, well, no, see, how I work with nerves is I prepare, prepare, prepare. I don't prepare, and I always thought, maybe that's because I'm really good at this, and this is a hidden talent. No, what I've realized now, talking with other people, and even after doing some interviews and talking to people who don't know me, I talk really fast and I say lots of things. And most of the time, people understand it because I'm saying enough of the right things mixed in that they kind of forget the other stuff that I'm doing. So I can make a long speech, make a beautiful speech. If I hit the point like 60% of the time, people say I did a great job. I always thought I was hitting it 100% of the time. I thought, I got this. I am king. I'm not. Okay. So, anxiety. Every day I wake up and I go in the shower. Now, I'm in the shower and the first thought in my mind is, am I going to take long enough in the shower or too short in the shower because my wife will think I'm not taking a long enough shower. I don't think she's ever judged me on how long I take a shower, but it's in my mind every day. Then I get up, I do stuff with the dogs. I'll take my meds, or I'll go to work or take my meds. Um, and on my way to work, or on my way out with the dogs, or on my way anywhere, the first thing I think of is when I get there, is it going to be, hey, you need to leave, or hey, what are you doing here, or hey, we need to talk. When I go to Target for Starbucks. I go and talk to the girls because I know the girls that work at Starbucks in our town. I'll go visit. I always worry I'm going to go into Target and they're going to kick me out because, 6 years ago on a Tuesday, I took a toothbrush or something and I forgot all about it. Now, that didn't happen. Logically, I know that, but I still walk in every day fearful. I walk into Target and I used to work there, and I am so nervous because if I see the HR person who's a nice lady, I feel like she hates me. She doesn't want to talk to me. And that's why, um, again, why I don't work there is I felt like she didn't like me. She's never done anything to say she doesn't like me. Heck, I've spent lots of hours with her in her office, with my dog, with my other people I work with. Never has she once given me um, the thought that she doesn't like me. But yet in my head, she doesn't like me. So, anxiety. I got up this morning, took a shower, went to Starbucks, went to Home Depot. I'm supposed to be doing certain things today that I told my wife I would do. And I haven't started any of them. Why? Because I'm worried I'm going to screw it up. And if I screw it up, she's going to be upset. If she's upset, then there's going to be an argument. There's an argument that's going to ruin my day and her day. Now, if I don't do it, the same thing's going to happen. But right now, that's the battle I have. Yesterday was the same battle. I was, hey, I got to do this stuff. And instead, for the first 2 hours, I fought myself on should I do it or not because I don't want to screw it up. Um, I did laundry yesterday, and laundry that didn't need to be done. So she came and she's like, why are you doing laundry here? Why are you doing this? Well, I just was being helpful. She's like, I already washed it. And she's like, it was folded. I'm like, yeah, I grabbed it because I was so nervous that maybe I was supposed to do laundry or do something more productive. So I did extra stuff that she didn't ask for. And that's every day. Now, for years, I battled my anxiety by eating lots of sugar, drinking lots of caffeine, not sleeping really well, and just booking myself to do so many different things. Um, I was so busy, I couldn't or I didn't focus on my anxiety as much. So, of course, in the last year, I've stopped doing the overbooking as much and living a normal quote unquote life. The anxiety has flared up. And it's flared up in the fact that I go to the grocery store and I start freaking out because I feel like everyone's watching me. Um, I'll be driving and I'll feel like people are staring in my car trying to see what I'm doing. Uh, I'll go on the turnpike or the highway and I'll feel like, oh my gosh, people are following me. They want to see what I'm doing. They're going to, absolute stupid things that are not true, but they're there. And they're there because I've never dealt with this anxiety, this stuff, this fear in my life for a long time. When I was in the army, I had the same anxieties. But again, when I was deployed, I was working every day, all day. I was consistently busy. I would volunteer to do extra stuff just to keep busy so I didn't think about uh, the stupid all around me. Uh, I'm still friends with some of the people I deployed with, and when we all got home, I really was like, "Hey guys, you need to get help. You guys need to talk to somebody. You guys need to deal with this. Hey, you need to do this. Hey," and one of the people I deployed with, she's working with the VA now. A lot of it was like, "Well, I didn't know if I would get this, or I didn't know if I qualify for this. I don't know what to do with this." And I'm beating the drum saying, "Hey, you got to do it. You got to do it. You deserve this. You deserve this. You deserve this. It's okay. These thoughts are okay. You're dealing with things. It's okay." But I never did it myself. I have worked with the VA, but until recently, I never brought up this overwhelming pressure on my brain. I never talked to them and said, "Hey, I really struggle with this." And the reason is what I said before in another video and other podcasts is I never took mental health seriously. I never took it as a real thing. Now my wife, therapist, she loves it, she does it, she deals with it. So it's not like I'm like, part of a lifestyle that mental health is horrible. It's just mental health is somebody else's problem. It's because they've dealt with this and I haven't dealt with anything crazy in my life. But then I look back and I have. About 3 years ago now, almost 3 years ago, my mother died. And when she died, um, me and my sisters became close again. We came close because I think, uh, like it or not, my mother was keeping us kind of apart. So when she died, we had the funeral, and my older sister came up to Maine, and my younger sister already lived here. And I just said, "Hey guys, I want to go to breakfast. Just us three." So I took them out to breakfast, and we sat there, and I just said, "I want a relationship with you. I want us to leave this table today and be siblings again. And if we can't be, no hard feelings, we'll just end it. No more." And since then, we've had a really great relationship. And then something I've struggled with since probably 5, 6 years old is my father. My father is a good man. I probably don't tell him that enough. But my father and my mother got divorced when I was really young. And my mother would say lots of negative things about him, and I believed her. Why wouldn't I, right? Um, I would call my dad collect as a kid. We flew down to Florida where he lived a couple times. I spent a summer with him. But every time I talked to him, every time I spent time with him, I was trying to get his approval for my life. And I never said, "Hey, Dad, I want you to respect me and love me for who I am." No, I didn't say that. I just assumed he would know what I wanted. And I did this, I don't know, I did this for 40 years. Um, I spent time with his brother who lived up here. I spent a lot of time with him. And when my dad came up, I wanted to spend every minute of the day with him. But I never told him what was going on in my mind. I just said, "Hey," and then if he couldn't spend time because, he had other kids or God forbid he wanted to spend time with his family, other family like his mom and siblings, I would take that personally. I took it personally because I felt like he left me and my mother tried to work with him and he didn't want to work with her. So my mother passes away and I reach out to him and I say, "You know what? We gotta end this. We gotta stop. I want to have a dad. If you want to be my dad, I want to be your son. Can we work on this?" So we sat on the phone for hours, him and I, and he told me a lot of stuff that I didn't know. Why didn't I know? Because I never asked. And that was his actual answer. He's like, you never asked. And I thought to myself, I'm an adult. Why didn't I ask him about, I don't know, anything? Why didn't I ask him what was actually going on? And I didn't, I think back then, because my mother would tell me, hey, your dad's a deadbeat. He doesn't pay child support. He doesn't show up. He doesn't really care. And because I was with her every day, I took that as gospel. So when I got married, became a dad, I said, I'm going to be there for my kids no matter what. No matter how much stress it brings me, no matter how much grief, anxiety, anger, frustration, money, I'm always going to be there for my kids because I don't want to be like my dad. Well, first, I didn't know what my dad was. So I kind of had this, what I thought a father should be and what he was, and they weren't the same. My dad wanted to be part of my life. I didn't let it happen like I should have. And that's on me. Um, but I did. I became obsessed with my children's life. I became so obsessed with them that I actually would lose jobs and things in my life that I could have done positively because my kids came first no matter what. And for the longest time, that's what happened. There's got to be a balance. And I didn't have one. I didn't have one for the longest time. So when my mother passed away, I talked to my dad. Since then, him and I talk now. Like what I'm going through right now, I kind of texted him, say, "Hey, sorry I haven't reached out a lot lately. I've been going through a lot of stuff, and I'm trying to figure out how to deal with it." He didn't say, "Hey, you suck," or "Hey, I can't believe you're dealing with this. How stupid are you?" No, he just said, "I'm glad you're working on it. I'm there for you if you need me." That's what a dad's supposed to be. He's supposed to be someone who says, "Hey, maybe I can't help you by being next to you. Maybe I can't help you by signing a check, but I'm there if you need me. If you need to talk, if you need to just blurt out things, if you just need to vent, I'm there." I could never do that with my mother. She just didn't, she wasn't that type of person with me. Uh, I would always try to protect her. I'd always try to defend her. I was a mama's boy ish for the longest time. But looking back, I moved out of my mother's house uh, halfway through my freshman year of high school. I stopped going to one school, went to a private school, and I moved out halfway through my freshman year. What I realized is I moved out and I didn't spend time at home other than like holidays, but my mother never asked where I was. She never said, "Hey, where you living?" Or "Hey, where you been?" There was no cell phones. I came home and she acted like I'd been there the whole time, like she didn't even notice I was gone. And for the longest time, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that till she passed away, and I'm going, I was gone for 3.5 years, and she didn't even notice. She didn't notice because she had her own life. There were things that she was doing, and um, growing up as a kid, she's like, I'm always there for you guys. I always support you guys. I'm always there. I know what's going on in your lives. She had no idea what was going on in her lives. She just said she did. Um, I don't know what's going on in my kids' lives every day. I know for a fact, because I have loving children, um, if there's something really bad and they really need something, or if there's something really good, we're going to know about it. They're going to reach out. They're going to be like, "Hey, dad, hey, mom, I'm pregnant," or I popped a tire on the freeway and I'm waiting for a tow truck, or um, my husband and I are separated, but I got this, we've been separated for a while, but hey, I've got this other person in my life now and it's amazing. And they're treating me with the respect that you always said I deserved. That's, and it blows my mind. Uh, when I met my wife, when I got married to my wife, um, my mother never said, "Hey, I love her because she's great for you. She's nice to you. She respects you. She seems like a really nice young lady." No, none of that. I don't think she cared about my relationship choices or my life at all. She just kind of existed. She knew that me being married meant I wasn't going to be there as much. Um, and that caused me a lot of stress. Uh, a lot of stress was caused because I had hurt myself when I was in the military and I had shoulder surgery. And a week after, my mother wanted me over there to throw bales of hay. I just had my collarbone and clavicle repaired and my bicep repaired. And, oh, no, no, you just use the other arm. And the amount of stress that caused me, the amount of anxiety that caused me, it caused me that because I felt like if I didn't do it, I was letting down my mother and I was being a horrible child, horrible son. But I also knew that if I did it, I'd be hurting myself. And there was a battle going on for that. Now, I didn't go over, and I didn't want to go over. And she's like, well, your kids don't come over anymore. My kids were graduated high school. They were like somewhere in college, somewhere in the army, somewhere in other states. But it's my fault they didn't come over. Those are the things that have happened, just the baseline. So when I been looking up on anxiety and everything that I've been kind of going through mentally, what I realize is it's not just an event. It's not just one thing. It's not just one thing in your life that happens. You start off with a foundation. And if your foundation is healthy-ish, um, you learn how to deal with certain things. Now, it still bothers you. It still affects you. But you have people in place, things in place, coping skills in place that help you get through it. And a lot of my children have those, and I'm very proud of them for having those. My coping skills till high school was drugs and alcohol. And then I had a come to Jesus moment, and found out that was bad. So I went to high school and I cleaned my life up. I got a haircut. I reorganized my life. I moved out of my house. I didn't have any coping skills still. My coping skills were being the class clown who talked a lot and talked fast and uh, got in trouble a lot because he would say things that weren't appropriate. And my kids still say I do that sometimes today. Um, I never learned real coping skills. So now, further down the line, I have people helping me with coping skills and things they do for anxiety. And I'm trying to figure it out. This year, this horrible thing for anxiety. Okay. Um, what I've realized is putting things together like models, Legos. Me and my grandson did an Iron Man hand that moved, like a scientific one, with hydraulics and all that. We did that. Helped my stress. Listening to audiobooks, listening to music, that all helps keep me, as my wife calls it, grounded. I don't know why it's called grounded. To me, I don't, maybe, I don't know. Someone explain that to me. But I now need to realize that I have lived 50 years without understanding how the last 50 years has affected my mental health. Um, I have had students, I've had friends, I've had family that have all grown up in a world where, hey, this is bothering you. This is how you can deal with it, or this is some ideas, and um, this is the best way of doing it. And so they have healthy coping skills. Um, I have probably had people tell me that in the past. I never listened. I thought coping skills was just a cop out. Uh, it was just words people use to make themselves feel better than the person they're talking to. And that's horrible because my wife uses it and she does an amazing job, and I don't know how she does her job. But I can't continue on living without learning how to control the voices in my head and the thoughts in my head that are controlling my actions, my words, my deeds. I can't continue to BS my way through life. I have to find a path that works for me. And that's an everyday thing. um, every day. Like today, I'm going to do some stuff around the house, and all I'm thinking about today is, okay, tomorrow, what's the plan? Tomorrow, what's the plan? Once you're done this today, tomorrow, what's the plan? What's what's the path we're going on? I'm going to try to find three things every day to do. Three things positively to do in my life. If it's doing the podcast or wiring a light or fixing a stair or I don't know, anything, cleaning my car, anything like that is positive. And that's what I'm going to start to do right now is just that's my first big goal is every day do three things. If I can do three things, I'm moving forward. And if I can do more, great. But I'm going to give myself a list of three things every day. Three positive things every day. So that's the deal. And I think I like doing it this way. I was really worried, really stressed, stressed that I wouldn't be motivated to do it, or I'd be anxious, or I'd be nervous that no one would care. But enough people reached out to me yesterday that actually made me think maybe people do care, and I'm not the only one that has dealt with this amount of crazy. So till tomorrow, y'all. Thank you for watching.